It is time for another Universal Orlando This versus That debate, and this episode, it is the Battle of the Big Hitters, Hogsmeade versus Diagon Alley. You are listening to episode 434 of the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Hey everyone, it's Lee. I'm not on my own. I am joined by Tracy.
Hello everyone.
And Chris.
Hey.
Darren is not here. He has absconded. So I was replaced by a more than ample replacement, we shall say, in the mouse and muggle that is Michelle.
Hello.
Hello, Michelle. And we also have another very special guest. So Darren is that big a personality that it takes two people to replace him, apparently. So joining us, you may know from Instagram as @MissWizardingWorld, which is perfect for this episode, Megan. Hey, Megan.
Yay. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm so excited.
You were the perfect guest to have on Hogsmeade versus Diagon Alley. Yes. I couldn't think of anybody better.
Oh, thank you.
So this is going to be very similar to the one we did earlier in the year with Gillian, where we voted on which was the best part between Islands of Adventure and Universal Studios Florida, but we broke it down into different sections. And we were all very sad that Islands lost. This is going to be very similar. I think I know what the winner's going to be already, and I think it's going to make me sad again.
Really?
But I've broken it down into 6 topics. We will openly debate each one.
Uh-huh.
And then hopefully by the end of the 6 topics, we will have a winner. If not, I do have a tiebreaker, but we'll get to that anyway, even if we don't.
Uh-huh.
So, the first topic we are going to debate is the entrance for each area. And I'm going to throw it over to Chris first.
Wonderful.
You could feel us all shrinking away from Lee's voice.
Chris, you're the perfect one for this after what you told us recently.
What did I tell you recently? Because I don't
got lost
remember.
in there and didn't even know where the entrance or the exit was.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And Diagon Alley, that is.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said before, the entrance for Diagon Alley was just so cool for me because I couldn't find my way in or out the first time I ever went. So I don't know. I might have to lean towards that one. Also, with like the hundreds, if not thousands, of videos out there of everybody taking videos of their friends, seeing the dragon and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I think that one kind of takes the cake when it comes to kind of spectacular view to see in there. I mean, I know the castle's not there, but the theming is obviously, next level in there compared to Hogsmeade.
So you're choosing Diagon Alley, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, who shall we go to next? Tracy, are you looking interested?
Go
on
do
then.
I ever look interested?
Go on then. No.
Much as I hate to say it, there's only one winner with this one. It's got to be Diagon Alley because it's just breathtaking. Hogsmeade entrance, it's just a non-entity really. It's just an archway, isn't it? With a sign hanging. Which I know it fits because it's Hogsmeade, but Diagon Alley's an experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You find your way in if you can, Chris.
Sure.
Yeah, if you can.
This debate's going to kill me, by the way.
And you've got the brick wall, you've got the noises when everybody's been a bit quieter. And then, as Chris says, you walk into that opening of the whole place and the dragon. And if you're lucky, as you step through, you'll hear the Hogwarts Express rumble over and just get the perfect moment. But, yep, Diagon Alley for me.
Oh, I'm going to cry by the end of this.
No. I'm trying hard to say Hogsmeade for all of them.
Go on, Megan, go next.
All right, so hands down, Diagon Alley, and I will fight anybody tooth and nail if you say otherwise. Especially if you've been to Hollywood. When I went there for the first time, it was so strange not having Diagon Alley. It just felt wrong. Like the first time I went to Orlando and went to Diagon Alley, I legit cried like a little baby as soon as I walked through the brick. Just reading the book and growing up with the book and everything that Harry Potter has meant, just seeing that come to life, it just, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's my favorite place in the entire world. And Diagon Alley, just the sounds, like the colors, the music, the smell, the employees, just everything is just it's just an experience. And when you go to Hogsmeade in Orlando, I think if they had made it separate so that you couldn't see, like, I think it's what, Lost Continent right there.
Yeah.
It doesn't fit. It's just not very authentic in my opinion. I feel like if you got off the Hogwarts Express and all you saw was Hogsmeade, maybe it would be a little bit more of an experience, but hands down, Diagon Alley. It's incredible. So I will fight anybody who disagrees.
I think Megan's just
You
showed
got
her
two
hand.
people on your side so far. So
I think
you're
Megan's
good.
just showed her entire hand for this whole debate in that one little diatribe there. Go on then, Michelle.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to break the streak now. So yeah, Diagon Alley for sure. And not just for the reasons that everybody else has already expressed, because that's very obvious. You know, if you've grown up reading the books or watching the movies, that very first experience going to the parks and you're a Harry Potter fan, you want to experience it just like Harry Potter did when you're being introduced to the wizarding world. And that means Diagon Alley. So, I mean, I think that's just a very obvious choice. But also when it comes to theming, Diagon Alley, you know, we start with the London waterfront. So it's all a very seamless experience there. Like she was saying, you know, over at Hogsmeade, it's just very abrupt going from Jurassic Park or Lost Continent into Hogsmeade. Whereas at Diagon Alley, you're kind of introduced into it with London and with the night bus. And so that whole experience there leading into the secret entrance to Diagon Alley, it just all ties together to make that experience phenomenal. And you just, other than seeing the castle on the Hogsmeade side, you just don't get that same wow factor that you get when going into Diagon Alley. So yep, Diagon Alley for me.
He's dying inside.
And I can't go.
So Lee, what's your opinion on the two?
I love Hogsmeade.
Oh my goodness.
But does it win?
Yeah, does it win?
It does not win in this category.
We will get. Does it win in this category? No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Because Diagon Alley does something that no other theme park land does that I know of. And we're talking about specifically the entrance here. When have you ever seen a land that has the entrance to the land hidden from plain sight?
Oh, yeah.
Never.
Right.
That's never been done as far as I'm aware. The fact that they had to station team members out at the front telling people where it was, I mean, I don't know whether that says more about how good the theming is or how stupid people are.
Hey.
Oh, sorry, Chris.
Unless, of course, Lee has missed so many different theme park lands.
Maybe.
Hidden entrances.
Maybe.
We haven't seen them.
Could be.
And someone goes, oh, have you not been to that land in this park? And I'm like, no, I've never seen it. But yeah, I can't argue. The problem with Hogsmeade is it's the way Islands of Adventure's set up. It is what it is. And the fact that there are two different entrances into it does hold it back. Because if you're coming from Jurassic Park, yes, you've got that reveal of the castle first, but then the whole land is geared up to that big reveal once you get through Hogsmeade. So yeah, I can't argue that the winner's got to be Diagon Alley at that point. So I am very sad, but it's a clean sweep.
It really is. That was a no-brainer.
It was. It was. I've tried to do these topics in a way that it's not that obvious which the winner is, but I think I know who's going to win anyway, so it's going to kill me. So, moving on, the next topic we are going to discuss is food and drink options. And I am going to throw it to Michelle.
Okay, so this one is a tiny bit of a toss-up for me, but I'm going with where I head to first when I want something to eat at one of the Wizarding World areas, and that's always Three Broomsticks for me.
Wow.
So I'm going to have to go with Hogsmeade on this one because I really love Three Broomsticks over Leaky Cauldron. I have breakfast there almost every single time I go to Universal. I know it's the same menu, so it shouldn't really matter that much, but for me, Leaky Cauldron feels very claustrophobic, and I love theme parks and I love crowds, but I don't really like so much people per se. So at Diagon Alley, they sit you really close to everybody. And I don't know, I just feel claustrophobic in there. Whereas Three Broomsticks, it feels much more open and airy. They've got the back patio, which I love, sitting back there and eating my food, looking over the castle. And then the Diagon Alley side does have ice cream and does have the hopping pot, which is a nice way to get a quick drink without having to go into a restaurant. But still, Three Broomsticks, hands down for me. So
interesting.
Hogsmeade.
So you're going Hogsmeade.
I am.
Let's go to Chris next.
Yeah. So Michelle kind of mentioned a lot of the points that I was going to go with. So I kind of want to lean towards Diagon just because they have the ice cream parlor over there. And I'll be honest with you, I don't eat a lot of food inside of either land. And so that time we went there for the weekender and had like that breakfast lunch at Three Broomsticks, right? Yeah. Three Broomsticks and
It
sat in the
wasn't
back.
that long ago, Chris.
I had such an awesome time that I am leaning towards that. So
Yay! Yay
Wow.
for the
leaning towards
weekender.
that. And they have the Hogshead, which
Yes.
again, I can get myself a nice little drink over there.
Interesting. Let's sway it the other way a little bit. Megan.
All right, so this one is such a tough question for me because I love both so much, and like Chris said, I don't eat a lot in the parks. I usually save my budget for butterbeer as opposed to like actually sitting down and eating a 4-square meal. I mean, I think it's so hard to choose because Three Broomsticks, like Michelle was saying, just more roomy. I think that restaurant, if I'm going to choose somewhere to eat, I want it to look the most authentic to the movies, to the books. And for me, Three Broomsticks is the winner. And with the view in the back, you hang out. I feel less rushed at the Three Broomsticks as opposed to Leaky Cauldron. But I think I'm going to go with Diagon Alley just because there's so many more options. You've got ice cream that you can have. I usually do it for breakfast if I am going to eat, just because the line is insane. The hopping pot, you can grab, a quick snack. And if you can get a bench, there's some great people watching. So I think in terms of a full eating experience, I'm going to go with Diagon Alley. Yeah.
You got me there. I thought you were going to go Hogsmeade. I actually put a mark down next to Hogsmeade and then you did a double turn on me.
No, I think I'm going to go Diagon Alley just because there's just so many more options. And I think if I did want to hide and get in the shade and I think I would do it in Diagon Alley. I would probably eat in there over Three Broomsticks.
Okay. I'm going to leave Tracy till last. And I think I'm just going to throw it out there. I think Diagon Alley is the better of the two. I love the Three Broomsticks, but I'll be honest, that breakfast we had in February, it's not that nice. And then their other options are very similar to what you can already get in Thunder Falls Terrace in Jurassic Park. Whereas the food in the Leaky Cauldron is, for the most part, completely different to what's available in the Three Broomsticks. And I still can't believe we've only eaten in there once. Florian Fortescue's wins, pushes everything way above Hogsmeade anyway, because I love that place so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'd just go, even if you did the food in Hogsmeade versus Florian Fortescue's would win.
I agree.
Even though you've got Honeydukes in Hogsmeade, there is a sweet shop in Diagon Alley as well, isn't there?
Sugar Plum.
That's the one. Yeah, I don't think there's a competition there for me. It's got to be Diagon Alley, hands down. Tracy, it's 2 for 2 at this point, or 2 against 2. You get the tiebreaker.
Butterbeer soft serve. Not really an ice cream fan, but butterbeer soft serve, and I don't like butterbeer. That's the interesting thing.
Oh, wow.
That's just a pumpkin juice girl.
Oh, team pumpkin juice
my
all
goodness,
the way.
it's too sweet.
Yeah.
Just like apple juice.
That's what
It's
it is.
terrible.
Which is weird because
Chris,
you're
It's
not
just terrible.
Chris,
I mean,
know
I
your
bought
place.
it just for the bottle, just to keep the bottle.
I think that's why most people, but I like it, to be honest.
Oh, my goodness.
Don't get me into the pumpkin juice debate. Stop trying to. So yes, Florian Fortescue's amazing.
So if you don't like the butterbeer, if you had to drink one,
I'd vomit.
would you drink the regular or the frozen?
Neither.
Well, in
Neither.
fairness,
Neither.
Megan.
No.
Oh, Megan, me and you need to chat because you're actually leaving out the best one there. You did not mention hot.
Oh, well, hot. Yeah, but Florida, it's too hot. I mean, I guess during like December when it's like mild, I would choose hot, but it's so hot for so long in Florida that I just shut hot out of my brain.
What are you talking about, Megan? We got our 70-degree cold fronts.
I don't know. We were freezing when we were there in February.
Yes, I was just about to say, Michelle.
That was that one odd case that I never see in the parks that I wish happened.
I've never gotten that lucky, so
I had three hot butterbeers that week. And not on that day when it was freezing either, so...
Anyway, back to me.
Yes,
back to me. So, Florida Fortescues, Diagon Alley. It's a no-brainer. Hogsmeade.
You always do that.
I've got so many... Memories are coming into it. I like the breakfast. I'm not a breakfast person. I love breakfast and the three broomsticks. I love the three broomsticks. Just take what Michelle and Chris said, copy and paste it.
Okay.
You've got the back patio. I just like it better. I like the food better. I like the atmosphere better. Yeah.
Interesting.
Hogsmeade. Sorry. Not sorry.
2 topics in, we are level pegging.
Mm-hmm.
So moving into the next one, this is an interesting one. Because I think we kind of talked about this when we did studios versus islands. But the next topic is area music.
Mm.
I'm going to throw this one to Megan first because I feel she's found a feat.
I mean, this one, you guys are picking such hard questions.
Don't worry, I'm going to thump him.
Oh, it's so good. So I think for me, I'm going to go with Hogsmeade just because a lot of the music that was played in Hogsmeade is the music that I played at my wedding.
Awesome.
So whenever I'm in Hogsmeade, I just get so emotional, and there's just so many memories tied, between the books and the movies, but like my wedding and just, my husband is a huge Harry Potter fan. So just that culmination, it's more sentimental. But I mean, the music, and it's just totally different feels. Like Diagon Alley, you've got like Weasley's, Rita Skeeter, like the more upbeat, and then Hogsmeade, you've got like Book 5, just Harry's Waltz and all of the like not romantic, but just I don't know, just classier music of the two. So I'm gonna go with Hogsmeade.
Michelle.
Okay, this one actually was pretty easy for me because for some reason every time I'm in Diagon Alley, I really can't even hear the music. It's just so loud in there. But when I go to Hogsmeade, I always am able to hear it. And I don't know if it's a volume thing or a crowd thing or I don't know. But like Megan was saying, the music at Hogsmeade is the more traditional, I think, Harry Potter ballads that we're all used to hearing. So that just makes it all very nostalgic for me. So I'm going to go with Hogsmeade on this one.
Okay. This isn't going where I expected it to at this point. I'm going to go next, actually. And I agree exactly with what Michelle said. And we talked about this. This is what I alluded to earlier. Other than the night bus music in the London waterfront facade, I can't remember a single piece of music that plays in Diagon Alley.
Yeah, I could not hear it in my head when I was thinking of this question.
Yeah, it seems to be so intrinsic to Hogsmeade, the music being in there. It is so much a part of the land, whereas I feel in Diagon Alley, it just, whether it is a volume thing or you just don't notice it, or whether there's too much going on that you're not listening, or it's, I don't know, I've just never noticed the music in Diagon Alley other than that night bus music as you approach the night bus.
And we've been in there when it's being quiet as well.
Yeah, not many times, but... So I'm going to go Hogsmeade. Tracy.
Yeah, Hogsmeade. Exactly what everybody else has said. It's the only one I can think of any music from.
Yeah.
And yeah. To be honest, when I saw that question, I went, Diagon Alley's got music.
Me too. I was like, wait. When I think Diagon Alley, I think sound effects. Like I hear the rumbling of the train. I hear the dragon. The Daily Prophet. I don't hear music.
Yeah.
I think really only in the shops. Like Weasley's is kind of loud, but I think, although you can hear a little bit in Nocturne Alley, but I think y'all are spot on. When it's crowded, you can't. It's so hard to hear.
I've never even been in Weasley's ever. It's the
one
one shop. I know. Don't judge. I know.
Judge.
You're fired.
I know. Trust me,
I'm stupid because I just follow along behind. I'm going, okay.
I'm the biggest Harry Potter fan. I think Michelle might fight me over it, but I would say I'm the biggest Harry Potter fan out of the 4 of us.
Yeah.
And I've never set foot in. I don't know.
Has it just been because it's been too packed in there, or it's just you just go straight to Gringotts?
It's time, to be honest,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we've only been coming out for a week, and
Yeah.
now we try and meet as many people as we can and stuff
Mhm.
like that. It's
Oh,
just
for sure.
it's just a time scale problem.
I think I might spend all my money if we go in there anyway. So it's maybe not a bad thing that we haven't been in.
Yeah. See, I'm just thinking now, because obviously in Hogsmeade, I mean, I know it's not quite music, but in the loos you've got Moan and Myrtle, but I cannot think.
Mhm.
Well, she
What-
wouldn't be in the bathroom.
No, but I can't think of any sound effects. I mean, obviously the
The
sound effects,
train,
but,
that's
but
about
noises
it. Yeah.
going on in the bathrooms. But I do like those bathrooms.
Okay. We're not talking about the bathrooms.
no,
so
no,
that's
but-
not a topic on here, actually. I maybe should have had
That's
that
a
one.
perfect segue. For which loo do you do?
So you're going Hogsmeade, are you? Go on then, Chris.
I'm going to sound like a terrible fan, but is there even any difference?
Oh, wow.
You're
wow.
This is the man that
sacked.
got lost in Diagon Alley, mind you.
I mean, no, I love John Williams, and he is like one of my top composers out there, but I honestly don't recognize a difference. I just kind of go in there and I just get sucked into the whole theming. So I honestly can't say one or the other. If I had to pick one, I'd pick Diagon because it has the sax player outside playing sometimes.
Fair enough.
That-
He just
that's
wants
my-
to be
that's my pick.
contrary.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Hogsmeade won anyway, 4-1. So,
Yeah.
yes, interesting. Going into our ad break, Hogsmeade is actually winning 2-1 at this point. And I am shocked because I expected it to go. It still will. It still might, but there we go.
Wait for
We
the next
need
topic.
to take a little ad break.
Now let's hear a commercial from the best travel agency in the entire world, Mouse and Muggle Travel Company.
Have you taken a stroll down Diagon Alley and visited Gringotts Bank? Taken a ride through New York with Jimmy Fallon? Visited the Truffler Trees in Zeus Landing or hung out with a real-life Transformer? No? Then what are you waiting for? At Universal Orlando Resort, there truly is an option for everyone. Or if you're leaning a little more towards pixie dust rather than ones and portions, Disney destinations around the globe await your arrival. No matter the adventure, our sponsors have you covered. Be sure to let the experts at Mouse and Muggle Travel Company take care of all your travel needs. Earning the distinction of being an earmarked agency specializing in Disney destinations, as well as becoming one of the first to be named a U-Preferred agency with Universal Parks and Resorts vacations. Mouse and Muggle Travel Company will ensure you receive top-rate customized service. Just visit mouseandmuggle.com to fill out a non-obligation quote request, or send your request to info@mouseandmuggle.com. Their team can take care of you no matter where in the world you go. With a flick of their wand and a little bit of pixie dust, the process will be so seamless, some might even say it's simply magical.
Welcome back, everyone. We are still here debating which land is better, Hogsmeade versus Diagon Alley, and surprisingly enough at this point, Hogsmeade is winning 2-1. We will move on to the next section, which I think this one is a no-brainer, and I think it will be a clean sweep. I'm going to throw it to... Who hasn't been first? Tracy.
Oh, yes, hello.
I'm going to throw it to overall theming of the land.
Oh, thanks. Damn it. Why did you have to send me first? I like to listen to what everybody else has got to say and then plagiarise them.
Tough.
Says the writer of the group.
I know.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, don't tell my new professor. So, this is a hard one.
Really?
Yeah,
Mhm.
it really is.
Mhm.
Because they both evoke the theming and the feel of both for me is different. And
Yeah.
they both evoke
Huh.
different emotions.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because for me, Hogsmeade is coming home.
Mhm.
Diagon Alley is a bit more adventurous. It's a little bit dangerous. You know, you've got Nocturne Alley. Diagon Alley's got higher energy overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Hogsmeade, as I say, it's coming home. It's softer, it's lighter, it's more welcoming. It's open and airy. Whereas Diagon Alley's enclosed and tall and quite intimidating at times. It's quite...
You've actually opened my mind, and I thought this was a given, and now I'm starting to think about things a little more. Yeah, it really isn't.
they're two very, very different areas. You know, one's... Not that it's a theme park, so obviously they're both friendly, but Hogsmeade's friendly, and you can imagine that, you know, you've got little cafes down alleys and stuff like that, and people are bumbling about and chatting on street corners. You could imagine that there's a little bustling community. Diagon Alley is kind of
It's like London, and who wants to go there?
yeah. Well, not so much that, but it's more of a metropolis in the wizarding world, if you like. And then you've got the seedy side as well, because every city's got a seedy side.
But with the word theming, I think that's the word you have to really
that's
zone in on, because theming to me means how accurate is it to the images evoked when reading the book or seeing the movies. So if you compare it to that, I think it's a pretty clear answer.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm kind of like talking myself into as I'm doing it. And for me, the one that is just springing off the pages of the books is Hogsmeade.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Oh man,
It's exactly
what I thought.
I just heard everybody else's answer.
It's exactly as I imagined it in the books.
Okay.
Diagon Alley's just, it's the wrong shape.
Well, that is a good point, because anyway.
I know.
No.
But I know it obviously comes down to land area that they had to build him, but it's not quite right. So thanks for that help, Michelle.
No, that's a really good point, actually. Go on, Michelle.
Well, I mean, mine's the opposite, obviously, because for me, Diagon Alley is exactly what I pictured in my head and also what we see in the movie. Hogsmeade, to me, is not at all what I pictured in my head when reading the books, like, not at all.
Because it's in central Florida and it's like 90 degrees every day.
Well,
Wait,
yeah.
the snow's not real?
No, it's not, Chris. I hate to break it to you.
what?
So now I guess next you're going to tell me the dragon's fake too?
No, that's real.
Definitely real.
Blasphemy.
Okay. Well, Hogsmeade to me feels like, although I love it, don't get me wrong, but Hogsmeade to me feels very shoved into a place where it wasn't meant to be. Like it feels very discombobulated. Like, I don't know, we had to squeeze in the train station right here, and we had to, let's have a half of a train coming out in the middle of, right in front of a store, and let's throw in a little owl post and I don't know, it just all doesn't, it doesn't feel like it should have felt according to what the image was in my head. In my head, after reading the books, it felt like a very large area. Of course, in the movie, we see it very snowy, and there's a little bit of snow, a tiny, tiny bit of snow. And then in the back, the castle's right there. We all know it's not that close to the castle. And I know that means, they had to shove it into a place, and we're all talking about land constrictions. But still, when I'm thinking theming, Hogsmeade does not quite hit the mark for me like Diagon Alley does.
Okay. Chris?
Clean sweep. That's Diagon Alley for me.
Oi.
Yeah, it's just, for me, when I think theming, I just think of what kind of absorbs you and takes you into a spot that you really just don't think of anything else around. You don't think you're in, Orlando or anything like that, especially if you can make me, lose my positioning and as to how to get out of a, area. That also will do it for me. But yeah, I mean, it's for me, Diagon Alley just kind of, absorbs you into that moment there. And just everything just looks like it's real. And although there's a lot of these, same traits inside of Hogsmeade, but, from an overall perspective, I'd have to go with Diagon, especially because like Nocturne Alley and Borgin and Burke's. Those are all just such cool thematic areas in the park. Just Nocturne Alley by itself for me is just one highlight of an entire area. So that is my pick, and I'm sticking to it.
Good pick.
I am going to leave Megan to go last, even though she's just played her cards there. It's an interesting one because I think it was Megan brought it up earlier that unfortunately Hogsmeade, where it is never going to have quite the same ability to put you in that theming, because you can see Jurassic Park from inside there. If you sat in that back patio, you can pretty much see the rest of Islands of Adventure. You're not enclosed. This is really difficult for me to say, because I started to think about Hagrid's and how much that adds to the theming of Hogsmeade at this point. Like, it really does add so much to that land. And I love Hogsmeade. Like, I'm just going to put it out there now. I much prefer Hogsmeade over Diagon Alley. I'm sorry, I do. But it's a nostalgic thing from me. I've spent a lot of time in Hogsmeade, just enjoying it with friends and family. But looking at him objectively, Diagon Alley is completely enclosed. You feel like you are in Diagon Alley. I'm going to point out something you said, though, that when we discussed earlier that it feels like what you have seen in the movies and read in the books. Not strictly, because Carkit Market doesn't exist as far as I'm aware in the books or the movies. So they have taken some liberties there.
They had to.
They didn't have to. But there's areas in Diagon Alley in Orlando that don't actually exist in Diagon Alley as it was supposed to be. But then you throw in, like, Nocturne Alley is awesome.
Give you that.
Yeah, I don't think you can argue. I think you've got to say Diagon Alley is, for theming, it's perfect for what it needed to be and what it was. But again, Hogsmeade is hamstrung by the fact that they put it where they had to put it at that point, and Diagon Alley had that extra space that they could enclose it in there. But it kills me to say it, but I have to say Diagon Alley.
Yeah, you're all wrong.
Go on then, Megan, take us home.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the group, and I'm going to go with Diagon Alley. Strictly
Christmas card list?
because of the word, because of the word theming. When you walk in, you feel exactly like you're in the book and in the movies. Even when you go inside the shops, like Weasley's, they did such a good job making it look like. I mean, granted, we only saw a couple of scenes inside of Weasley's in the movies, but reading is exactly what I thought it would be. The sounds, the smells. Just everything in Diagon Alley, like just with the noises alone, being able to hear the Daily Prophet, and then when you get closer to Gringotts, being able to hear the Withering Network, them talking, the sounds in Nocturne Alley, just the creepy music, and then just seeing like the spiders walk around, and then when you look in the ceiling, they've got like the mood to make it look like, nighttime dark clouds. Like that is absolutely incredible. Like it's just hands down Diagon Alley. Just it's exactly what I envisioned. I think like everybody else was saying, the location for Hogsmeade just really, that's its downfall. And the fact that, I mean, there is snow on the tops of the shops and all that good stuff, but with it being in Florida, and when you see it in the movies, it's completely snowy and cold, and they're all bundled up, and you can wear a robe in 90-degree weather, but
plenty of people do.
Why would you?
I can't do it. And if when I'm choosing, if both parks are doing if they're closing at the same time, for some reason, I always go back to Diagon Alley, just to close it out there. For whatever reason, that's my favorite of the two for theming.
Okay, that puts us 2 versus 2. We have 2 topics left. I'm trying to potentially think about people's answers to the next 2 and try and eke out the tension a little bit. I'm going to leave it in the order that I have. The next one I am going to put out there is performances is the title I've given it. So be that musical shows, any sort of, I mean, we all know, I don't want to sort of put it out there, the things we're talking about, but character meets, that type of thing.
So interactions with a character does count, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And stage shows, let's put it that way. Let's say stage shows and performances. Who hasn't gone first? I haven't. I'm going to take this one. Everyone knows how much I love the Frog Choir at this point, even though a lot of people don't. I don't know why. I'm going to shock Megan again at this point and say that I have not seen the show of the Tale of the Three Brothers.
We've tried.
I really don't know why, because that is my favourite part of the Deathly Hallows.
It's just never fallen right.
The Fountain of Fair Fortune is awesome, though. Celestina Warbeck is awesome. Yeah. I'm not a massive fan of the Triwizard Spirit Rally in Hogsmeade, but the Hogwarts Express conductor is quite possibly one of the best characters on property, especially if it's a certain one.
Yes, who we love, and he knows. Hello.
But then the night bus conductor is awesome as well, with the shrunken head. This is a tough one, actually. I hope he's not listening, because I think I know where I'm going to go with this one. I think
I'd kind of forgotten about that bit, and so now I've been thrown for a loop.
I think I have to say Diagon Alley, because I think the 2 puppet shows are awesome. Celestina Warbeck's great. And I love the Hogwarts Express conductor and I love the Frog Choir, but I think the Triwizard Split Rally really lets it down. And beyond that, there's not a lot else in there.
Interesting.
So I am going to say...
me.
I don't even know him.
Diagon Alley, I'm afraid.
Sorry, how long have we been married?
20 years this year, dear.
And he's still surprising me.
Who are we going to pick next? Christopher.
Whoa.
See, I'm not a big fan of the shows. Well, I like some of the shows. I've seen Celestina Warbeck. I've seen the Christmas edition one. I've also seen like the Triwizard, and I've seen the Frog Choir. Not a fan of either of those. Don't hate me.
I do.
I know you do, but just don't.
I was going to say, but not for that reason.
Yeah. Different reasons is fine. Not that reason. But yeah, from the shows that I have seen, the one that stood out to me the most that I loved was the Tale of the Three Brothers. I think it's really cool the way they put that show on.
Yeah.
It's again one of my favorite parts of the movie as well. That mixed in with the night bus conductor, I also just love swinging by there every now and then and just kind of seeing what quirky, witty things he has to say. So because of that, I'm going to pick Diagon Alley.
Okay. Apparently, I'm not going to Tracy yet. You're shaking your head at me.
I'm
going to go to Megan.
Hands down, Diagon Alley.
It's not a surprise.
Tales of Beetle the Bard is my absolute favorite. I will stop what I'm doing, walking by to watch it. It's my the shows in Diagon Alley are my go-to of things to do when I'm too tired to walk anywhere else and the ride wait time for Gringotts is too long. And then Celestina, she's my favorite, especially at Christmas time.
Yes.
That performance is probably my favorite. That's one of my favorite things about the Orlando Informer was the meetups. Was they still did the shows and whatnot, and just being able to watch it a couple of times throughout the night it's so. I just love it. I love the night bus conductor. There's a couple, but there's one that's, super interactive. And I really enjoy watching the conductor, especially with children. They seem to really get into it, and like the Shrunken Head. And then even if Nocturne Alley, I don't know if you count if you count it as a performance, but the Shrunken Heads and Nocturne Alley that sing.
Technically, yes.
Yeah.
I like watching them.
Yeah.
There's, it's dark and there's AC, so that might, help me with that decision, but hands down, Diagon Alley.
That wasn't a surprise.
Do we think that these picks so far are because there's a roof in Diagon Alley?
Possibly.
Blocking the shade
Possibly.
of the sun?
I don't think so. I really don't like the Triwizard and the Frog Choir. I like it. It honestly depends on the person that's leading the choir. I don't know what. I don't know, what is she? Is she a prefect, or I don't know what her title is, or his title. But it definitely depends on their energy, and there's just a couple that I'm not a fan of. And I think the cast of people singing, just not their voices, but just like their expressions and just their energy and, vibe with the other people singing. It's really hit or miss for me.
Yeah. Stuck out in the Florida sun performing that show probably isn't the best place to be.
is one of my favorite things to do. But there's just something about that. The Tale of the Beetle of the Bard. It really hits home for me.
Okie dokie. On then, Tracy, because I can see you're still mulling it over, but it's time.
I am. I've got to put this out there before I even make a decision that if it was I could only have one character interaction, it would be,
of course,
Hogwarts Express conductor.
Yes.
Just need to put that out there that is my number one.
Just in case he's listening, eh?
No. That is my. But yeah. But so I do like the Triwizard rally.
Really?
Yeah, I do. But because Lee doesn't, we don't ever see it.
Don't blame me.
I do. Blame me for everything. I'm going backwards and forwards because Celestina Warbeck, the puppetry, and then I come back and but I like Frog Choir. But as I said, it depends on who's leading it for the energies. Yeah. I like the Triwizard rally, the conductor, and then I suddenly thought about something that we've already seen in passing, we never got to experience fully. And that was the Death Eaters coming into the crowd.
I was going to mention that.
And it's things like that really make something for me. And
we didn't. I was ill, wasn't I?
You
So we
were
never
ill.
really got to experience it.
Yeah. And
I'd forgotten about that.
I think that's just tipped it Hogsmeade for
Really?
me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I really do. I've had a fight with it, but
You just
Yeah.
like to be contrary, don't
no,
you?
well, yes, but no, but I was Diagon Alley all the way.
Yes, I'd never even.
That's why I
thought
started
about them.
with the conductor, because that needs a mention. And, you know, of course, we've got night bus conductor as well, who is also awesome.
a very specific one again. Eh?
Oh, a very specific one. Very specific one. But yeah, it was just
You're going with
remembering.
Hogsmeade.
It was remembering that's,
Yeah.
that's tipped it back that way for me. And I'm shocked myself, I'll be honest.
Let's see if that changes Michelle's opinion. Michelle,
Yeah, so I was really surprised that nobody mentioned the Death Eaters before Tracy. So I was going to be the one to throw you guys for a loop. But
Sister
so,
wives.
and I don't know if you include projection shows as a performance.
I suppose it could be. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, those two items were the things that tipped it in the Hogsmeade direction for me from the very beginning. I wasn't even going to mention the other stuff that everybody else was talking about. Because although the projection show is, you know, it could have some improvements, but I'm still a sucker for a nighttime show, and having that be on the Hogwarts castle is just a pretty cool experience. And then of course it changes with the season. They did the dark art show, they did a Christmas version, both very cool. And then of course they added the Death Eaters last year, which was amazing.
Thank you for that, Michelle. Just rub it in.
Although I felt terrible that Lee was very sick at the moment, I had to just leave him on a bench and go and chase Death Eaters
I
for
know, it
like
was fine.
a good 15 minutes. But it was so cool just to watch them. Their opportunities like that have been very few and far between in those areas.
Yeah.
So for that to be a new introduction was super cool. And then just to watch them interact with children and everybody pulling out their wands and, you know, battling right there in the streets. It was a really, really cool experience. So yeah, Hogsmeade for me, just for those two things.
Okay, doke. Unfortunately, that doesn't change the fact that Diagon Alley still won. Which brings us to the kind of final topic. Diagon Alley winning 3 versus 2. I can kind of see where this is going. Who hasn't gone first? Megan, I don't believe you have gone first. So I'm going to throw this next topic to Megan first, and that is rides.
Oh, okay. Well, obviously, Diagon Alley only has Escape from Gringotts, Hogsmeade. So I have not been able to ride Hagrid's. I was pregnant when the ride opened.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No excuses.
Yeah, so I've walked the queue, but I obviously was not able to ride it. So with the reopening this week, that is my goal.
Yes.
Is to ride it as many times as possible. But between Forbidden Journey and Gringotts, I'm going to go with oh gosh, that's so hard. I'm going to go with Forbidden Journey.
Okay.
Because it's so sentimental. At the end, I'm such a baby, and I will tear up when I see Dumbledore
Awesome.
waving at you before you get off. So I think, oh man, yeah, it's going to be Hogsmeade. I love, and don't get me wrong, I love Escape from Gringotts. I love that it's a roller coaster. I love the queue, but I think I'm such a sap and a sentimental person that just walking through the castle, seeing everything, and then just everything that you see during the ride, I think Forbidden Journey just does it for me.
Yeah. Let's not even talk about Hippogriff because it's terrible.
Yeah, no. Well, the only good thing about Hippogriff is if it's at nighttime and the light show and there's no wait, riding that during the light show is so sick. Like being able
cool.
to see, I love that. That's like the only time that I really ever ride it. But yeah, it's not worth, it's what, like a minute and 30 seconds? It's not.
No.
It's not worth it.
With a very
30
abrupt
seconds. You
ending.
can catch 30 seconds of the show by riding the Hippogriff.
Yeah.
I am going to go to Chris next.
Well, you already insulted my pick, but Flight of the Hippogriff is going to be the one. You have magical creatures. You got Hagrid's hut. I mean, what more do you want? Now, mine's an easy pick. It's Hagrid's Magical Creature Motorbike Adventure because it is my current favorite ride. It's and I'm sorry, Megan, I'm trying to rub it in. You have to ride it as soon as you can. And if at all possible, you somehow figure out how to get to the front row. It is a completely different ride there as well. We got lucky once. I was with a party of 4 and they split our group up. And I was like, oh, that sucks, whatever. And then I realized that no, I got to ride in the front now. So I was like, yep, screw you guys, and rode it in the front. We did it at nighttime. It was aside from the other time we rode, it was the best ride like I have done. It's my favorite ride I've ever ridden. Just everything they do in that ride, the theming, the actual, track itself and the little things they do in there. I don't want to get too much into it because I don't want to spoil it for Megan in case she hasn't seen it. But it's it's just an awesome ride. So just because of that alone, I am going to swing towards Hogsmeade.
I'm going to throw it to Michelle next, and I know what she's going to say because this is the person that waited 8 hours on opening day for Hagrid. Michelle, was it?
Yes, I did twice. You keep leaving that important factor out.
Yes, I forget.
Humble brag.
I don't know if it's brag or if it's stupidity, but
I will keep my lips sealed.
No, I would.
Okay, so and before Hagrid's opened, I was a Gringotts girl all the way. I loved Escape from Gringotts more than Forbidden Journey. Although, I still like it more than Forbidden Journey. However, with the opening of Hagrid's, I'm all for the Hogsmeade side now because not only do we have Forbidden Journey and Flight of the Hippogriff, but we do have Hagrid's. And that is, I don't even know how to begin to describe the experience of riding Hagrid's. I told you, Megan, to ride the motorbike, but I'm a chicken and I have to ride the sidecar now. On my first time riding it, I was on the motorbike, and although it was fun and an amazing experience, I'm a sidecar girl now. I'm able
Michelle,
to
if you need a ride partner, you let me know because me and Alexa always fight against who gets to ride the bike.
Oh, you got it. I'll ride with both of you, okay?
Perfect.
On the sidecar, I'm able to actually keep my eyes open a little bit more. So so Hogsmeade for me. Hagrid's just totally tipped the scale for me on that one.
Go on then, Trace.
Bit of an unfair one, really, isn't it?
And that's why I put it in there.
I like Gringotts.
You're not that big a fan.
I'm not that big. I do appreciate it the more I go on it. But yeah, Hagrid's doesn't just tip it. Hagrid's just makes it. We've had so many good experiences on there.
I've had some bad experiences.
You've had bad ones, but you're a kid, really.
I'm old.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, it's just I just want to add in, if you can, try and ride it at dusk, so it's you've got that dim light that's got that almost purple hue, and then by the time you finish riding, it's dark, because that's absolutely amazing to ride it during.
So cool.
If you're not feeling ill at the time.
Shut up, you.
Thank you, Forbidden Journey.
I can't really add any more to what's already been said. It's Hogsmeade.
Go on then, let's make it a clean sweep. In fairness, this topic it's unfair anyway, because Diagon Alley's only got Escape from Gringotts.
Yeah.
But the longer I go to Universal, the more I appreciate Gringotts, because I love Forbidden Journey, and for me it is still the perfect amalgamation of screens and physical set pieces at this point. Yeah. I haven't ridden Rise of the Resistance yet. It could potentially
kill you.
Rival it.
Past performances.
But it's the perfect amalgamation. Yeah. I think Darren mentioned it when we were talking recently, that even that transition between the screens and the physical pieces is just absolutely perfect. It is awesome. But it makes me ill now. Like I say, I'm getting old, and it doesn't agree with me anymore. And it's made me
getting old, mate.
Appreciate, because I've always been like that.
True.
It makes me appreciate Gringotts more. But Hagrid's even if it was just Hagrid's versus Gringotts, Hagrid's is amazing. It's an awesome ride. It doesn't make me ill, which is always a bonus. But how much it offers to that whole land, just as part of the land. Dragon Challenge and Julian Dragons, when it was there, it was a pretty much unthemed roller coaster. Now, looking at Hagrid's in there, it just adds so much more to Hogsmeade. Actually, the best view of the castle now is from the Hagrid's queue. I love the fact that they hide all the major set pieces from the queue. So you can see the ride from the queue, but you don't get to see any of the surprises. You don't get to see, I would be careful, any of the animatronics or any of those other surprises. I won't spoil it for you, Megan, just in case you don't know what they are. Yeah, it's Hogsmeade all the way, and I am surprised that with that vote, we get to a tiebreaker, because it is 3-3. I am surprised. I expected it to be a clean sweep. So the tiebreaker topic is the icon of each land. So basically it comes down to Gringotts Bank versus Hogwarts Castle. And I am going to throw it to Michelle.
I'm going with my gut on this one. Without having thought about it, the first thing I circled was Hogwarts. Mm-hmm. So I think that is just, like everyone has said before throughout this conversation, Hogwarts is kind of home for us. So although Gringotts is very cool, the dragon is very cool, it doesn't give me the same feeling that standing on that bridge looking at Hogwarts does. It just makes me feel like I need to grab my books and go to school and, leave the world behind. So yeah, I'm going to go with Hogwarts.
I'm going to go next, actually. I agree with everything Michelle said. I don't think you can go against Hogwarts at all. I think the only thing that makes Gringotts a good icon is the dragon on the top. If you took the dragon off, it's a very kind of nondescript, kind of weird-looking building at the end of the street. Without that dragon, it's nothing. Whereas, Hogwarts is Hogwarts. It's what the books are kind of about, really.
Yeah.
The fact that the whole land of Hogsmeade is geared to that big reveal when you get to the top of the street and turn the corner and the big reveal of Hogwarts there, and then even coming through from Jurassic Park across the bridge with it there in the backgrounds where everyone gets their picture taken. I don't think you can choose anything other than Hogwarts at this point, so I'm going with Hogsmeade. Tracy.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Hogwarts Castle. Iconic. Everything you want it to be. Looks amazing. Everybody has a photo taken in front of it. Everybody has photos where they stand as close as they can and just point the camera upwards.
Yeah, I've got tons of them.
And then you got the dragon on top of Gringotts Bank. And that's, especially when you see it breathe fire for the first time, that's bloody amazing.
You haven't decided, have you?
I have.
She's thinking out loud.
It sounded like it.
Yeah. But like you say, when the dragon escapes and flies away, you're left with this weird-looking building.
Yeah.
And Hogwarts is Hogwarts. Let's face it. So it's a no-brainer.
Okay.
It's definitely Hogsmeade.
This is not going where I expected it overall. Christopher, I will leave our guest to go last. So, Chris.
The light.
You are like you.
Yeah, it's Hogsmeade. Hogsmeade. It's what everybody else has said. I mean, the dragon is freaking awesome. Mm-hmm. But yeah, just the castle. I mean, you can just look at it and kind of like get taken away in your mind of where you are and everything, as opposed to just having a really cool fire breathing dragon out there for a nice Instagram picture. But you can take so many more with the castle. So I'm going Hogsmeade.
Megan, are you going to book the trend?
Well, like everybody said, I'm going to agree with Hogwarts. There's just no other way. You can't fight it. I mean, like everybody else was saying, if you take away the dragon, it's not as special and it's not as meaningful. And it's just, yeah, I can't. There's no choice. It's going to be Hogwarts, hands down. No matter where you're standing, it's beautiful. You can see there's the detail that went into it. If you've gone to the studio tour, when seeing it blown up and huge, It looks exactly like the model.
Yep.
And it's just incredible that they were able to bring it to life in such a huge scale and do it such justice. It's just. I would love if we could go to the top of the castle. That would be that would be my dream. It'll never happen, but it's definitely the Hogwarts castle. That's home. It's so magical. There's no other way to describe it. Like I have a smile on my face just thinking of it. And it's hands down Hogwarts.
Wow. Well. With that final topic award, that means Hogsmeade wins 4-3. I am shocked.
Wow. I am surprised.
I am very surprised.
Wow.
But when it's like everyone, I think if you asked anybody which is the better land, 90% of people would go, oh, it's Diagon Alley, hands down, easy. It's an easy one. Mm-hmm. But then when you break it down into its different elements, I am shocked. Megan, I hope you're not too sad.
I'm a little sad, but I mean, when you actually like what you just like, when you pick it apart and you dissect it and you put, you can do pros and cons. Just Hogsmeade has so much more to offer, and it's always interesting. Like when you do ask people, especially obviously California people are going to say Diagon Alley because they don't have Diagon Alley. Yeah. But it's just one of those things that you can't really argue when you sit down and you really break it apart. So I'm totally shocked, but I'm gonna have to when I go this week. I'm gonna have to like really stop and think how I feel in each park now.
Yes.
And see if that changes. If that changes my view on things. Yeah. It's interesting in a good way.
Cool. Right. Well, that will wrap up another episode of the Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. Megan, thanks for joining us. It's been awesome to have you. We really appreciate you joining us.
Yes, thank you guys so much for having me. It was such an honor.
Oh, you're welcome. It's been a lot of fun.
I will give you the option now to plug any of your social media channels or website or whatever you want.
I think just Instagram. I think that I just share tips and tricks, going to the parks and what to do in the parks. So yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
So yep, go and follow her. She is at Miss Wizarding World.
Yes, she is.
And that's going to wrap up the episode. And as we do with every episode, we will wrap it up with another Universal Is. And Megan has graciously accepted our invitation to supply this week's. But if you want to be involved, just send us what you think Universal is in 3 words or less to podcast@uuopodcast.com. And Megan, it is over to you.
My word is home. To me, there's nowhere else I'd rather be. So it's home for sure for me.
Awesome. See you next week, guys.
Guess that wraps things up for another Unofficial Universal Orlando podcast. You guys did all right. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Pinterest, keyword UUO Podcast. Listen and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, or anywhere podcasts are found. You can find our blog at uuopodcast.com. Send us your spews, which Lou gets your poo recordings, questions, or comments to podcast@uuopodcast.com. Check out our friends the Theme Park Duo and our awesome sponsors Mouse and Muggle Travel Company. So, until next time, don't give up your day job, say cheese, and see you later.